Hello. So I was reading a quote this morning by James Allen, and I love James Allen quotes. In fact, I'm thinking of doing 2 days back to back. We'll see if we do it. If I were to do that, they'd kind of be in the reverse order, though. So we'll stick with this one. But the quote by James Allen is Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Let me read that again. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. And in his times of writing, it was men. I think today it'd be people are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Is that true? Is that true for you? The self-help industry is booming. It has been for years. But is it self-help? Or as the saying goes, is it shelf help? Do we buy that great book and put it on the shelf? Or do we actually read it and learn from it and put the learning into action? It's so easy to buy a book. Sometimes it's even easy to read the book. But putting the book into action, taking what you've learned, identifying it, and making a change can often be extremely difficult. So where is that true for you and where is that not true? I know if I look at myself, anxious to improve circumstances but unwilling to improve me. There are places where I have really taken the effort to improve me, and I'm proud of that, and I'll wear that and brag about that till the cows come home. But and the cows coming home. I don't think I want a whole bunch of cows showing up here tonight. I don't know where that came from. But we'll brag about the things that we do, that we've improved ourselves. And I think almost every human being can come up with an area where they've improved something. Some people a lot, some people not as much, but something. There is a grain of something that you took and you went and you did it and you achieved because you assimilated that information one way or another. But I know for myself, there are some things that I've yet to do. There are books I've bought and yet to read. I've read a lot, but there are some that I haven't read that are important to me. I do buy more self-improvement tools than I actually use. The intent is always to use them. The plan is always to use them. But do they get used? And am I improving the right things? I can tell you one that I work on constantly. My progress is slow. I will say it's slow but steady, but it's not fast enough as it needs to be, and that's diet and exercise. And that's probably true for a lot of us. We can get a lot of things done, but that self-discipline to diet and exercise, we know it's important, but do we put enough value on it? And I should. So I guess the thing we have to do is when you look at that's such an important quote. It can go by, you can go, oh wow, that's true, and quotes are nice and everything else. But let's take that quote and assimilate it into our lives. Men are anxious, people are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. The first thing, take an inventory. Where do you feel an anxiety or an anxiousness to improve yourself? Write it down. Put it on a list somewhere. Get a piece of paper, put areas I want to improve, and write down those things that you are anxious to improve about yourself. Not the ones you've already improved, the ones yet to come. And then kind of put a little mark next to the ones that you're actually willing to do, that you're going to incorporate into your daily plan, into your goals. Somehow you're going to incorporate this. And the only way you're going to get this done is to incorporate it into your calendar. So put that list together and then take a look at your calendar and see where you can fit them in. Now, you can't work on everything at once. So if you come up with 20 things you want to improve, pick a couple. Don't pick all 20. Then look at the ones you haven't picked. So you've made a list. You've checked off the ones that you're willing to do. You've put in your calendar the ones you can start with. But let's look at the ones you didn't find that you're willing to improve on. What does that say? And if it's important to you and you're anxious to get it done, why aren't you willing to start it yet? And is there a prerequisite that you need to do to get it started? Or is it just a matter of getting around to it? And if it's getting around to it, then it's got to go into the calendar. So maybe you make those marks and then you prioritize them. And maybe that allows you to check off a few more that you're willing to do. But if people are anxious to improve themselves and they're unwilling to do so, how do you make yourself willing? How do you not be in that group of people? How do you be different than that? I'm sure there's somebody that doesn't apply to, but I know it applies to me, and I'm so into self-improvement that, I still know there's gaps, but I'm sure there's somebody somewhere that doesn't have any gaps. But for me, I have gaps. So I need to make a list of things I'm working on. Sometimes that list is uncomfortable, but it's still a worthy project. So one last time, I know I'm repetitive for a reason. Make a list of things you're anxious to improve about yourself. Check off the ones you're willing to do. Prioritize those. And then put them in your calendar. Very simple process. May not be simple to do, but it's a simple process. Take care. We'll talk to you next time. Maybe tomorrow I'll have another James Allen quote. I love James Allen. So we'll talk to you soon. Take care.